Darkness is all around us. It welcomes us. It invites us in. But through the darkness, light has come to expose it. To save us from darkness, so that we may see. Light is love. Light is truth. Light is life. Do you live in the light? Or do you dwell in the dark? Glow where the dark meets the light. This is Growth Group Unplugged.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Growth Group Unplugged for this Tuesday evening, the first Tuesday of August 2022. Hope, trust, and pray that all is well with each and every one of you. Come on in right now, hit the share button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, whatever platform you are tuning in from on tonight. We welcome you to Unplugged. We're going to bring the council in here on tonight, and everybody say hello, introduce yourselves for our listeners, not just our viewers, but for our listeners. Good evening, everybody. What's good?
What's going on, family?
Hello.
Yo.
Hey.
Introduce yourselves, please.
It's Taylor.
Hey,
Kiana, I'm Kiana. This
thank
voice
you.
is Kiana.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Sunny from the South Side coming to you live tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
It's Trinity. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening in.
All right. And I think we got Josh in there somewhere. His mic is muted.
So, guys,
All right, that's Josh. Okay, we got Jamia backstage, and we have Bethany backstage. We're gonna bring them in here momentarily. Let's go ahead and see what tonight's topic is, y'all, and see what we're talking about. Let's spin this wheel. Tonight's topic is asking for help. Asking for help. Why is it so, or excuse me, accepting help? Why is it so difficult for us sometimes to accept help from other people? Why is it so difficult to accept help from other people? So that's what we're going to talk about on tonight. Y'all chime in. Y'all let us know. Give us your opening thought. Isn't that how the question was phrased? I believe it was. Um,
I think.
So,
Think.
wasn't mine. Yes. Why is it so hard to accept help from others? That's correct.
got it.
Um, I think it's more of a. Well, I know for me, it's I don't like asking for help because I know I can do it, but I kind of have like an internal battle with myself. It's
Mm,
like you can really do this, but then a part of me is like, are you made to do this? Like, do you need assistance? So I always try to struggle with growing on my own instead of growing with people. So that's just a struggle I have with accepting help. But I've gotten a lot better with asking and receiving. I think there's a huge difference just between just asking and letting someone actually help you.
cool, 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 cool. Who else want to jump in?
It's hard for me to accept help because I don't I don't I don't like getting to a place where I feel like I can't do anything for myself. Like I don't feel like technically when I get to the point of asking for help, it makes me feel like I can't do nothing else for myself. So somebody else got to step in and do the job, and I don't like the feeling of it, even though it's super stupid because I can't do everything. But that's just how I feel. That's why I don't like accepting help because I don't like feeling like I don't have any other choice that I failed myself.
So is it accepting help or is it asking for help? Because I think those two are not necessarily synonymous either, right? Like
Mm-mm.
if somebody offers their help, absolutely, 100%. Like,
No,
hey, can I help
no.
you?
Well, not for me. I
Fair.
was you asking me that question or were you talking?
Kind of
Or
just
were
talking.
you were doing your introduction? Oh, my bad. Because that's not how I am. I'm
No,
sorry.
I mean, but that's fair too. Like accepting help, I think I'm more susceptible to accepting help. Like if somebody offers their assistance, cool. But if I won't ever really ask for help unless I am in dire need of assistance, right? Like if it's yeah, it's literally only if I'm in dire need. Like I will and maybe it's a pride thing, maybe it's a feeling of insignificance to an extent too, because I don't want to feel like I'm bothering somebody, you know? Um, and that's how I feel most of the time. Like if I'm asking for help, I feel like I'm bothering you. Um, and that feeling sucks. So, um, yeah, it's mostly just like If you're offering, sure. If I'm asking, 99% no, I'm not going to do that.
I think sometimes we believers kind of feel like we're supposed to, well, I'm speaking for myself, that I'm supposed to have a faith or a walk with Christ to where I'm supposed to be pouring into other people instead of asking other people of things.
Wow. Thank you, Jameer. Joshua, opening statement.
For um um over on my own.
I think we got a
Breaking
bad,
up, or
we
is
got
it
a
just
bad connection.
okay?
Yeah, we got a bad connection, Josh. All right. Sonny.
Got you. So I'll keep it to the question. I'll elaborate probably a little further later on. But why is it hard to ask for help? There's a couple of different reasons you can look at it, and all of them are usually eternal, right? Um, we can say that, hey, I have a fear of asking for help because I don't know if anybody can assist me. I also may have a fear for asking for help because I myself don't think I'm adequate for such. I don't feel as if, or maybe have enough courage within myself to feel as if I'm worth helping. There's a lot of, when you think of it on those ways, there's a lot of a masking or a suppression of your psychological and emotional standard in life with those things. But sometimes it is, and I like what Jamia said. Sometimes as believers, right, we feel as if the help that we seek should be coming from a supernatural source, right? And so we'll go to God and we'll pray. But then when he gives us resources to reach out to, sometimes we'll overlook or undermine or understate those things when those are the very things that he is providing us to give us a leg up with something. So another issue that I see and that I believe that people have with asking for help is that if the help comes and you get what you need, are you going to be successful with it? Is it going, like, you get everything that you need, you get the requirements and the resources, and then what? It's the other side of help that stops some people for asking for it because they're afraid of even succeeding past the situation they're in. Something to think about.
Wow.
So that's my opening statements. Like I said, later on, I'll dig to deeper, and I kind of was liking what Taylor was saying as far as accepting help because that's another can of worms, but they coincide. Some people won't ask because they just don't accept it. Right? Some people will literally go to their grave with their mouth shut
The whole time.
So, but yeah.
Wow. Okay. Very, very pointed opening statement. Very deliberate opening statement. Two things. I believe sometimes we don't. I'll touch on the asking for help. We can do either or. We can touch on both of them on tonight. I believe asking for help. Several different things I got. Sometimes not being willing to ask for help is a sign of selfishness. It's this is my toy and you can't play with it. Doesn't play well with others. And sometimes it's the fact that we don't want to feel like we owe somebody something.
Right.
If I ask for help, now they have one up on me, right? Secondly, and I'm just speaking in general, in personal. Um, in this moment is sometimes I don't ask for help because of the selection of help that I have. Um, sometimes I feel like that if I asked for help before and the help wasn't adequate and I had to still go back and do it or I had to go back and fix it, I just rather take out the middleman and just
I could
go
have just
ahead.
done it myself in the
I could just
beginning.
done it myself and been done
Right.
with it, right? But I also think that has a lot to do with leadership, and it has a lot to do with how we prepare people to help us. So those are my opening. Those are my opening thoughts. Um, who want to jump in first? Talk about anything that we just talked about. I'm just sharing right now.
It's interesting that you said it was selfish. I never put those two together,
Hmm.
but that makes so much sense, right? Because yeah, like in a way, it's control,
Hmm.
right? Like it's the idea of this is my whatever it is.
Hmm.
Nobody can touch it. Like I'd rather just deal with whether it be chaos or stress or whatever. Like it's mine to control, you know? And if you allow somebody else, if you allow somebody in on whatever you're holding on to, like you said, they might come in and mess it up. But then I don't know, maybe because I'm more optimistic, like at least I tell my clients all the time, what's the damage in really asking for help? Because clearly you can't handle
Hmm.
it on your own, you know?
True.
And I think like
True.
Jamia said, like as believers, we have these like we know that God can handle anything, right? And
Right.
that he can take care of all. But I think we also forget that God gives us liaisons, you know, and works through other people to help us, right? Like, we're not saying that God is not supernatural and he can't just, snap his fingers and say, be healed. Absolutely. But God also gave us doctors. God also gave us therapists. God also gave us like lawyers and all these other things to get us out of the chaos and mess, Um, but prayer is asking for help, you
Absolutely.
know? Um, and if we can get out of ourselves and see that and know that God is, by answering our prayers, he's going to bring somebody in to assist us with our chaos and our mess, um, I think we'll be better off if all of that made sense.
I think that when using the selfish, you know, not asking or not accepting can be selfish. I think that we need to be careful to not classify that as always a bad thing, because being selfish is not always a bad thing. Um, I mean, being selfish, I can. I don't know if I'm just wrong, and I'll be able to accept it. But I can accept somebody being selfish with their suffering or with their pain until they're able to accept the help. I'm okay with it because if you don't, I say this all the time: don't bleed on people that didn't cut you. So if you know that if you know that you're suffering, but you also know that you're not in a place for that help, then why bleed on? Why show this open bleeding wound to somebody if you just gonna say, "Oh, and don't touch it, don't help me"? Like if y'all get what I'm saying.
But even that, he like, it's more of if you're bleeding and I see that you're bleeding, it would be selfish of me to not try and assist you, right? It would be more damaging for you if I know how to fix it and I see that you're bleeding. I'm not going to be like, bro, hey, you probably should go fix that. You're bleeding. But it's going to be like, hey, let me wrap that up for you. Let me help you. And if you're like,
I understand that, but
and
then
even if you're like, no, I got it, like, well, let me give you the tools to do it yourself.
That's what I'm saying. Even in that situation, okay, I'm bleeding. You see I'm bleeding, but you still trying to help me. I'm exerting more blood trying to fight off your help because I don't want the help. Like
there it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't want the help.
So
some people.
That's where I was going to go. That's where I was going to go.
Is that? Like, okay.
That's where I was going to go. So there was a dynamic in it that I wanted to definitely pull up earlier during my interview, and it was the fact of some people are okay with submitting to dying, right? Some people are okay, and I kind of went at it in one way to say, hey, they won't ask for help and they'll go to their deathbed, but I really wanted to get into there. Have you ever seen a wounded dog? All right. You ever walked upon or walked past a dog that had just been attacked and now is in a situation of needing rescue? You can't really assume yourself to be able to go over there in your own power and help it out until it opens up to you. And so in that situation, when somebody is at a place where they themselves have gotten downtrodden, they themselves have gotten to a position and a place to where they feel as if they're unfixable, or they just haven't gotten their head wrapped around where they're at, they won't open themselves up for help. And in those cases, it quite happens like trying to reach out to a wounded dog. They attack, they fight, and there's a problem with that. Like the issue internally with the person that's dealing with something, the issue is they're clouded. They're clouded with pain, right? They're clouded with dealing with a circumstance that they haven't even thought about fixing it yet. And that dynamic is very interesting, and I wanna shape it this way because I have noticed and found a lot of people in this very situation of extreme negativity, if you will, or extreme duress, right? I want to see if we can come up with an answer to that tonight. Like, how do we get to a place to where we can take the person that's in extreme duress and get them to understand it's okay to ask for help and open themselves up for help, right? I want to attack that from the question.
I think we first got to be honest, though. I think we got to first come to the analysis that I actually need help, whether it's help from somebody else, whether it's help from God, whether it's I need to be able to admit that I need help. I've said this, but I've said this time and time again. Sometimes I think that people become addicted to the pain, right? So that they don't want help. They want sympathy, but they don't want help. I think that as long as I can play
victim,
I can get the attention without actually having to put in the work to heal. So the attention of sympathy works to pacify my unhealed wounds. So basically, it's like somebody's hand is over that wound trying to stop the bleeding, but now I'm bleeding internally. No, if you know anything about wounds, if you don't reach deep enough into that wound and try to clamp that artery, you're gonna bleed to death internally, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's what happens a lot of times is we close up, and the sympathy works as a bandage, but yet all the while I'm still dying on the inside because I haven't said, you know what, I'm dying, I need help. And a lot of times the wounds aren't visible. So everybody around you don't know that you need. That's why suicide is so tragic. Is because nobody sees it coming.
Mm.
Nobody there oftentimes there are no warning signs. And then sometimes we're so routine in life that we don't notice certain things, right? And so it's sometimes it's hard to accept help because um we don't understand that help is a spiritual discipline.
Wow.
If I really say I'm a Christian, if I really say that I want to grow spiritually, then I have to be the epitome, watch it, of help and a helper.
Mhm.
Let's go back to the beginning. I told y'all I love the book of Genesis because guess what? God saw that it was not good for man to be alone. So he created for him a help meet, right? He created for him a help meet because he knows that there's some things that I can't fix by myself. There's some things that I can't accomplish, like somebody said it earlier, by myself. So I need the assistance. God places people. I think Taylor said this. God equips us with people to help us. So when we're denying help, we're denying the gift of God.
Right.
Wow.
We needed help for sin, so he gave us Jesus. So when we say no to Christ, we're saying, God, I got it.
Right.
I'm gonna sit this one out. I got it. Until we realize, you know what? I don't have it. There's a story that I used to use it in as preaching analogy. It was like this man that was one day in quicksand, right? He found himself, he was in the middle of the jungle and he stepped into this bed of quicksand. And somebody they heard him scream and they ran up to help him. And he said, man, give me your hand. I got you. He said, no, I got it. And the more he fought, the more he began to sink. And he said, man, he said, give me your hand. He said, no, man, I got it. Watch this. And he's trying to fight. And the more he fought, the more he went under. And pretty soon it was unreachable. He was unreachable. And the man literally had to sit there and watch him go under to his death because he wouldn't just reach up and grab his hand. Galatians 6 and verse number 2 tells us to bear ye one another's burdens so we fulfill the law of Christ. What's the law of Christ? That we come into unity. That the beautiful thing about one of Christ's prayers is that we all be one. So how can we be unified when we won't ever share the ball?
Yeah.
Partnership was in the mind of God. Togetherness was in the mind of God from the beginning, right? Relationship was in the mind of God from the beginning. But one of the problems is we don't want to be vulnerable.
That's another thing.
Exactly.
I'm all in somebody's business right now, but I don't care. I love
Fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
We still friends.
You just all in. Oh, can I say something real quick?
Jump in.
You first of all, you always in my head. Like Holy Spirit is like really moving right now. And what I first noticed is that we look to the wrong resource and not look to the source first for help. And maybe I shouldn't say we, I'll say me. And that's where that's where the expectation gets failed. That's where the like where my feelings get hurt and things like that. Like y'all said before, I mean, if I'm gonna ask for help and if someone doesn't do what I'm asking, I should do it myself. But it's like, I don't want to say me personally, but just like sometimes like we have to have the discernment to know who to ask for help from. I think that's a really big process that we can rush through
and that we can overlook of not knowing who to ask for help, because we could go to people all day long, which is great. God gave them to us as the help, the liaisons, the supporters, yes. But if we're not going in prayer first before we speak to our friends or family who or counselors, whoever they may be, then I mean you can just dig yourself in a hole. So that was that. And then what you said about scripture, I might be in a different scripture, but when you brought up Galatians 6, um, I okay, hold on, I don't want to say this backwards. Okay, the first thing is um, like when we bear one another's burdens, and someone is like, not doing that good, not feeling the best or whatever, and something go down, grits hit the fan, those who are spiritual are supposed to be the ones to help and restore those who are broken. And I've said this to a different group. Um, I had to realize my level of spirituality so that I can know who to go to, who was a little stronger than me, to help me get better, to help me get restored. And then the second thing was, I think Taylor said like she would ask her clients what is the damage or the problem with asking for help. It made me think about Galatians 6 and 9, where we're not supposed to give up in well doing, so that we will reap the harvest. And with that, that kind of I might be a tiny bit off with this. You can correct me, but what it reminds me of is that um, that just shows that you know we're going to have hardships. We're going to go through different seasons where we interact with people and they are going to hurt us. They're going to misuse us. But if we keep going and let that be a testimony and not let it shut us down from sharing what we've gone through, we can continue to help other people. We can continue to be a light because we're sharing and connecting with someone who doesn't feel like they have a voice. So it's like when we continue to walk in the faithfulness, we continue to share what we've gone through, good and bad. We're helping others. We're being that light, being that encouragement, things like that. So yeah, this is a really good topic, and Paige, you just really all up in me, all up in my head so far. But everything y'all saying is like really good, and it's so crazy because I was just thinking about this either yesterday or like some other time last week. So I'm happy that this is the topic for today.
Beautiful. Man, let's stay in the text for a minute. Let's stay in the text. Um, I love Luke 10 because Luke chapter 10 is so rich with this very topic. Um, but one of the most familiar passages is or parables is Jesus talking about the man who was left for dead. The man who had been overcome by robbers, right? And he was left on this road for dead. We know the story is the story of the Good Samaritan, right?
Did I must have missed this story in Bible study? I mean Bible class. This don't sound familiar. Somebody
Good
robbed
Samaritan?
the Samaritan?
the
The Good
story, the
Samaritan got
story,
robbed?
not
No,
the
the man
Samaritan,
that the
Rob.
Samaritan helped got robbed.
Go to Luke chapter. Go to Luke chapter 10. Go to Luke 10. Go to Luke 10.
This is church.
This is why we need Sunday school.
Amen.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. Luke 10, man. Luke 10. Verse number 30. Jesus replied and said, a man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he encountered robbers, and they stripped him and beat him and went away, leaving him half dead. And by coincidence, a priest. Now, see, this is one of the problems. There's one of the challenges too. If I'm a new Christian, the church doesn't have a good track record of actually providing help. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is where I'm about to get in trouble. Do it. church has a history of when you say I need help. Hey, I'm coming to y'all. I'm wounded. We want to open the wound up and look inside and see how deep it is. And
And
instead of
then say, I'm gonna just pray for you.
or we even down, but it's not that bad. It don't look that. It's not. At least it's not infected. It could always be worse, right? So we have a history, and I won't say it was intentional. I would say that oftentimes it's just sheer ignorance. It's we just didn't know any better. But sometimes we haven't necessarily handled situations appropriately, and so our resources, me and Kiana, we talk about this all the time, is the infrastructure, having the infrastructure to be able to provide assistance to those who are in need, right? But if the church can't help itself, how are we going to help others? If we haven't learned how to help, be helped, then we can't provide help. And I used to tell this to the OGs. I used to call our older members the OGs, the original group. I used to tell them all the time. I said, when people come into the congregation and they don't look like you want them to look, instead of talking about this single mother who got on this short skirt, why don't you get to know her? And why don't you take her shopping one day and spend your money on her? Because apparently that's all she has. Be thankful that she's here.
Right.
Be thankful that she's trying to accept help, and yet we belittle, we judge, we point out their flaws, we point out their sin, and it pushes them further away. Because those who are supposed to be spiritual are the ones who are inflicting the most harm in a unfamiliar place. So when you look at Luke 10, this man fell upon robbers as he was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho, and a priest, a godly man, a man who knows the law, is passing by, and he sees the man, and he passes by on the other side. Now, when you study the geography of this text, you'll know that road is narrow, right? So you can't say I didn't see the man. And the thing is, the problem sometimes that we have, because we're talking about accepting and asking for help, but we also got to look at the other side of the pillow and be like, okay, are we actually giving help? Are we willing to help? We can no longer say, well, I didn't know they needed help. Why are they here? And this is the culture that I'm trying to help build. And if the Lord allows me to build it this way, people don't visit a church just to be visiting a church.
Facts.
If somebody comes into your assembly, they are looking for something.
Right.
Period. They're looking for something. Oh, well, one of my coworkers, I just invited them, and they've been telling me they're gonna come, and they never came, so they finally come. They're still looking for something. They're looking for friendship. They're looking for assistance. They're looking for something. This priest passed by on the other side. Guess what? He passed the buck. He said somebody else gonna do it. Verse 31 says, by coincidence, the priest was going down on that same road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. Likewise, also a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, pass by on the other side. But a Samaritan who was on a journey came upon him. When he saw him, he felt compassion. He came to him and bandaged up his wounds, pouring oil and wine on them, and he put him on his own animal and brought him to the inn and took care of him. On the next day, he took out 2 denarii and gave it to the innkeeper and said, take care of him, and whatever you spend more, when I return, I will repay you. We have to be willing to identify with appropriate help. And build a culture of help, of assistance, right? understand that this is
Look, wait, like we lost him for a second.
Oh, tragic.
Sorry, it's all right. We can keep it going. He'll pick up where he left off. But man, I really do. I don't know. I really fall behind that. A community, an advocation of help. Most definitely, it's something that is necessary and needed. Like I think I proposed this question before, a couple of weeks ago. Like, have we really took a time out and looked at a functioning community and what they truly do for each other? Not what they do as individuals, but what you're able to do for each other. And being, I'm blessed to be a part of a community now of people that I could say they are actual, as they coin themselves, go givers, right? Um, in business, I'm a part of a community that is full of people who literally, as much as they go to do work to provide themselves, um, with some assets, things of the nature, if you are there and if you are in, sight or touch of them, they will literally come and be like, "Hey, what might I be able to provide as value?" And that is the biggest thing I think we need to understand and realize too, as some people that need to have help. There is some value, um, that we might need for somebody, but there's also a value that we need to give, right? That's a part of being a go giver. Even in your situation where you feel lowly or where you feel inadequate, there is still something that you can give. Um, in that situation, that he was speaking, a parable of the Good Samaritan, right? He still had something that he would have to give, right? Toward the end. We have to know this, in order to truthfully, um, be a person, who is worthy of the help, who is efficient enough and available enough also, to be a help. Sometimes we have to get up out of ourselves, um, even in that time of need, and others will do the same. Um, you may have heard it. It's kind of a cliche, and I truly believe it. God doesn't help those who don't help themselves, right? And I'm sure that, and I don't want to speak for anybody here. If you disagree, that's fine. I would love to hear the other side, but I know from experience in my life, right? Anytime that I sat down and that I sat in the weight of what I was going through or what I was facing, I stayed there. No matter how much I call on God, no matter how much I went through the actions of like, yeah, I'm doing these things, I'm doing these, exercises, I'm doing these examples of these self-help things, and nothing is going on. Nothing's because I'm not even truly putting in the work and helping myself. Because what's funny and what's innate about us human beings is that everything that we truthfully need has already been encoded and implanted and built within our own very DNA from the creator, our father, right?
Right.
And we are many, versions of the very we're many versions of the antidote for the very situation that we go through. Otherwise we wouldn't go through it, right? We are actually the pill that someone else has to swallow for the same circumstance, that you're happening to experience right now. When you really sit there and think about that, right? And I've spent many a days in my room trying to figure out, well, why can I never have enough money? And I don't have the information to get here. I put in the work. I show them that I'm trustworthy with it. I do all the right things for it. Why? And I realized, I was like, wait a minute. Let me stop asking why I don't have. First off, because my focus isn't on what I'm meant to do with this. I'm meant to overcome this. Because if I wasn't, I'd be taken out.
Mm.
So point number one, if you're in a position to where you're experiencing something, know this: you're there for a reason. You're there to receive some help because it hadn't killed you. You can't help something that's already dead. So right there, acceptance of your circumstance and situation to know, hey, I have a problem that I need a solution to. And maybe I can't fix it on my own. right? That eliminates all of the pushback you give. That eliminates all of the disdain that you have for even the people that may want to come to you. I don't know if you've ever done this, but have you ever tasted something sour and you made a face and you looked at somebody else and immediately they wanted to like, what's going on, right? And that's a bad example. But have you been through a situation where you're wearing it on your shoulder, where you're wearing it on your sleeve, when it's out front, it's in your aura, it's in your atmosphere, and people immediately was like, something's wrong, but they're not readily willing to come and see about you? That's because you're wearing your issue and not wearing the potential of giving help or potential of receiving help, right? You're putting on the face to push things away. And if you can avoid that and get to the next part, and I know I've kind of off track for a minute, I want to get back to where I was going. If you could truly sit down and understand, first and foremost, you're in a need of help if they hadn't taken you out. Secondly, the help that you, and I'm glad that Carlos said it, the help that you need sometimes isn't the first thing you see. Sometimes isn't the first thing that reaches out to you. And oftentimes isn't the thing that you're used to seeing. The Samaritan, he was a Levite. What was used to seeing him, what he was used to dealing with, what was status quo for him, still left him high and dry and stranded. Right? It's oftentimes in those circumstances that you feel like you don't have the power to deal with. It's because it's coming from a peculiar place. It's coming from something that you haven't recognized and realized is actually help. And if you're not careful, you will fight that thing off that was meant to take you to where you needed to go. You have to be very careful not to cut off your blessing, as some people say. So,
and even on top of that, bro,
go ahead.
Sometimes they help, man. Like you said, the Levite, you know, he expected help from the priest, right? Sometimes we when we get disappointed when we don't get the help from the people that we know supposed to help us, and so we don't accept help from nobody. It's like I'm saying, well, God, I want help from them, not from them. But I learned years ago
that comes with that selfishness.
As a small child, that beggars can't be choosy. Like, if I'm sending you help, accept the help.
And that goes with that selfishness mentality, though, right?
Facts.
Because you can't, like you said, beggars can't be choosers. If you're asking for help, accept the help. Like, I don't know. It's, you can't, if you know you want a burger and you're if you know that you're hungry and somebody says, here is a McDonald's cheeseburger, and you're like, no, I want Ruth Chris. Are you really hungry? Like, you know, are you really hungry?
Hold on. But guess what though? Guess what? Sometimes we got to stop trying to give people stuff that we don't even want. Because I don't know about you, I don't eat McDonald's like that.
But
I'm making a point of it though. Like sometimes we try to help people in ways that we wouldn't even receive, and then we get confuddled because they don't want our help.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, fair.
It's almost like saying, you know what, and that's why I stopped doing these. That's why the church stopped doing this. You know, we don't close closets, right? Church close closets. You know, the clothing ministry is not the opportunity for you to clean out your closet. We want to bring stuff to give to other people that you tired of wearing, that's faded, that got holes in it, all that stuff like that. Listen, why can't we invest in each other? Why can't we invest in people? Go out and actually be intentional about sowing into people. We like to give people leftover help. God doesn't give us leftovers. He renews his mercy renews every day, every morning.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that sometimes people are afraid to ask for help because they know that we're not really we'll help them so that we can feel better about ourselves.
That's it. That's it.
And that's where I was at earlier. It's the providing of value.
Yeah, man.
It actually that wow, that made so much clarity to me just now. You have no idea. True real value, true fruit, true nutrients, right? The thing that normally keeps you afloat, we won't even give some, and I'm talking we. I'm saying a general group of people. We could say the church, we could say organizations, we could say government. But what have they truly given to us as assistance that we could live? More so, not pacify, not somewhat shortly sustained, but live. Whenever you give value, I'll say it this way: if I give you a fish, you'll eat for a day. If I teach you to fish,
yeah, you can eat every day.
Where's the real value in helping and in needing help? What you need to look for is the value. Somebody comes as you reach out to help, and they give you a handout, and the handout is just more mess. The handout is just a little bit of something to bring you 2 steps forward. That's not real help. That may be somewhat of a supplement out of your situation, but you don't need a supplement. You need true nutrients. You actually need a watering. You need a revitalization. So accepting certain things just because you're where you're at. You gotta, my God. Wow. I'm sorry.
Dig in.
I'm sorry. I realize why some people now are hesitant to have help. Because some of the most reputable places have given them a history of hurt. And not hurt intentionally in the sense of they put them in that situation, but as they reached out, what they received was empty calories.
Man, it comes from the series that I did a few months ago, man, on the Help Me series. You know, when your help is hurting you. You know, sometimes your help is actually the thing that's hurting you. Sometimes we gotta let go of some of the places that we put our trust in, because we'll find ourselves in a worse situation. Then we talked about when your help is enabling you. Sometimes we disguise help as enabling. You know, we feel good. The people around us make us feel good about our situation and make us think it's going to be okay, but they don't actually really help us. Right. They just prolong my journey to wholeness. Right. So we got to be careful of the enablers too.
Yeah.
And then sometimes your help hinders you. The people who we let help us are people who keeps feeding us lies about ourselves. Oh, it's not that bad. Oh, you're not doing terrible. Look at this person. This person, listen.
And then try to compare it.
When we stop comparing ourselves and stop trying to pacify somebody else by announcing somebody else's worse situation and just give aid where aid is needed.
Right.
And then we also got to understand that every time somebody asks for help, it's not a physical help they're asking for.
Right.
Sometimes when somebody say, you know what, I need help paying this bill, and they come into the church saying, hey, do y'all help with power bills or electric bills? They may need that immediate help, but what they really need is a budgeting class,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
What they really need is maybe a better job. Maybe they need somebody to help them with the resume, right?
Yes.
We got to get back to a place to where we empower people,
Right.
so that they can sustain on their own. Man, look at Matthew 6, man. Matthew 6, Jesus' first sermon, his debut sermon. Y'all say debut.
Debut.
His debut sermon, his first album, right?
His first out.
His first volume 1, right? Bible says, blessed in verse 3, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of God. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of God. Blessed are ye men, when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Listen, ye are the salt of the earth. If the salt has lost its savior, wherewith shall it be salted? It is therefore good for nothing but to be cast out and trodden under the foot of the men. You are the light of the world, a city that cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it on the bushel, but on a candlestick, and it give light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is heaven. What work are we doing that God can be glorified? He talks about all of these needs that people are going to have, and then he gives an answer to those needs. But you know what he says in the following verses? He says, you are the light of the world. So how are these people going to be? How are the meek going to be? How are the meek going to inherit the earth? How are the poor in spirit going to be comforted? How are those that mourn going to be comforted? Because of the light of the word, because of you are the salt. And when the church loses its ability to salt, what does salt do? Salt preserves, salt heals, it purifies, it cleans.
Yes, sir.
Salt flavor. Y'all ain't saying nothing,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir.
When we lose our ability to season a dusty world, when we lose our ability to purify and to heal and to clean, oh man.
Yeah.
How can people be helped?
Right.
Wow.
Oh God.
I think that like goes back to Sonny's point when he said, you know, I could teach a man to fish.
Yeah.
I could give a man a fish, he eat for a day, right? Or if I teach a man to fish, he could eat forever. But then the addendum is now he can go and teach somebody else to fish.
Facts.
And
Yes.
they can go.
Facts.
And then it all ties in. It goes into evangelism, right? Like if I just give you something, okay, well, you're welcome. But if I teach you how to do something and you really learn, now you can go and teach somebody else who's struggling the same way that you are.
You know what
And
that's
you can
called?
find your own addendums. Say that again.
You know what that's called?
Evangelism.
That's called kingdom, man.
Yeah. Kingdom building. Community.
Kingdom, man. That's more than church. That's kingdom.
Yes.
Right? Because the church is going to be church is on earth. Kingdom is going to be on earth and in heaven.
Right.
Right? We're trying to become kingdom minded to where we are building one another, because as we build one another, we're building the kingdom for God so that God may get the glory. These are kingdom principles. Accepting help is a kingdom principle. It's a kingdom attribute. Giving help is a kingdom attribute and a kingdom principle.
And we're so stuck on the religious organization that we're missing the kingdom antidote. Kingdom is all about community.
Yeah,
it is.
Right? We are a community of believers, not a community of churchgoers.
right.
Man.
I think we have to get out of ourselves.
Stop looking at me like
in
that.
You know?
Let me say this, Taylor. I don't think it's that we need to get out of ourselves. It's that we truly need to step into ourselves.
Oh my God.
Yep.
I'll give you that one.
Checkmate.
I'll give you that one.
Cause I need to flesh this out. I need to flesh this out. It's really gonna help somebody. It's really gonna help somebody. Cause I think a lot of people are in a situation. You can call it imposter syndrome. You can call it a multitude of things, but they're so paralyzed in their life with moving in the right direction because they haven't realized that they're already equipped to start doing so. They're already equipped to start doing so. And what they need to do is apply and make action. Some people ask for help and they need help. Why? Because they've allowed themselves through fear and through disbelief to sit in this one situation that would never and should never have had them bound in the first place, because they were more so astute and equipped to deal with it. And you know what they've been doing this whole time? They've been out of themselves watching other people do it and never stepping inside themselves and becoming the movement. I love, I love it. I love the idea of being the move of God, right? Actually being the feet and hands of them, and everything that we do, everything that we go forth and use as being the light and as being the candlestick until the world, so other people can make the steps forward and make sure that they also illuminate the few obstacles and also the right road to walk on. In that, we're being the movement of God, and as long as we step up out of ourselves, we'll never truly encompass enough light to push out from us. Matter of fact. I so much stand on that right now.
Sorry.
I so much stand on that right now. I'm here to bet somebody, if they actually took the time and the effort to take all the energies that they did, analyzing other people, taking the time to look up on other things that have gone positively, using all of that energy just to have conversation, and take all of that and put it within themselves. Take it and put it to team number one, to unit one that's supposed to be a part of a grand unit. Then there would be some movement forward. There would actually be some building going on. But because we are so out of ourselves.
No, stop right there.
Man. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to behave. But the fact of the matter is, and Taylor, you see this every day. You see this every day in your actual work, right? The fact of the matter is, there's been so many people, and there still is so many people. It's not going to change as long as people move without direction. There will be this, but there are so many people who have adopted the reality that they don't have any value or any purpose. That they are trying to be validated from someone else. And because of such, they have yet to really truly be who they're supposed to be. I promise you, if you look inwardly, if you really look inwardly, if you use God to look inwardly, first off, you find him. And that's the most grand part about it. You don't have to look elsewhere to see him. He's already there. Help isn't on the way. Help is already there. Why are we not grabbing hold of it? And then once we grab hold of it and we confident that it has us, watch what he does. He goes get more of him and brings it to us. I'm a little science experiment. for those who like to do things practically. If you would, I don't know how many people play with insects, but if you would, get you a little bucket of ants. Find your little area you can put them in.
How you get a bucket of ants, Sonny?
Just get a bucket of ants.
Okay.
Just go grab one and put them.
I'm gonna tell you. Listen, I'm not gonna tell you how to do it. There's a smart way to do it. Get yourself get your bucket of ants. All right, we can use other things, but answer the best part of this, right? Okay.
You had an ant farm. You had an ant farm when you was a kid, didn't you?
I didn't. I'm a country boy, so we used to do all types of stuff: shovel ants, put them on top of each other, pile them, walk, kill each. That's beyond the point. All right. You don't have to do this. You can watch it. All right. If you were to take a group of ants, all right, and you were to place something in the middle of them, something that is actually desirable for them, something that actually can be used to help them in their journey of life, right? You place it in the middle of it. And at that time, they're going each and every way. But that one ant that's near what you place in there gets a hold of it. And he begins, watch this. He gets a hold of what's close to him, what's near him, what's in him, what's around him. Takes a bit of it and he starts to move. My God. He takes a bit of it and he starts to move. Other things that need what he has start to come to him. Watch this. When you grab onto who is near you, God, and you begin to move, you start to see these other things that are like him, that are like you, what you have coming to you to do what? They're not coming to take that from him.
No, they're trying to figure out where you get that from.
Where you get it from. Not only that, can I help you move that to where we need to go? You're going to see them. I've got a piece or a smell or a scent of what that is. And I so much want it. And I'm so familiar with it now, I can go get it for myself. My God. That one ant that you put some help down there for, and it grabbed it and it started to move, made a whole army of ants get together and get the same thing he needed. It wasn't that one ant desperately needed to look elsewhere for the help, because the help was there once it was placed there by God.
Mm-hmm. You can go into Bug's life and have the same analogy work out. It's like that's a lot easier for me.
It is, but I'm a
I ain't going out to get no bugs, but I got you.
You caught the analogy.
Your own comments.
Pastor, stop commenting on stuff.
Like, these are his comments.
I like it. But
he was on a roll, man. He was on a roll.
really. I'm sorry. I know I took it there. I told you, but that, really though.
Yeah, that made sense.
Really, because you know what we do? Want to say us? When the help is planted there for us, we walk away from it. We need help. The help's planted there. It's available. All we gotta do is grab onto it and start moving, and we walk away from it.
That's
because it didn't come. What you said?
I was like that's that old story, like a man's drowning and he's like, oh no, God's gonna send help, and 3 boats come by, he dies. It's like, where's my help? It's like, are you dumb? Like, I just sent you 3 things to help you. But yeah.
If it's not packaged in a familiar way, we end up walking away from it. And sometimes, even if it is packaged in a familiar way, we still walk away from it because it's not in our expectation. I don't want to say too much because a lot has already been said. That's been so great. I don't want to mess it up. But
you got it.
It's like you said, we can miss out on the 3 blessings that just came past just because you want God himself to come down. No, that's not how it's gonna work. Like, not for this situation. Sometimes he will step in and just be like, okay, move here, move there. But he's gonna send different things a lot of other times to help us or whatever like that. And then another point I heard you say, or it might have been a comment before someone else, we don't want to move. We get too comfortable and complacent. And so if it's time for you to not, excuse me, if you're asking for help and your instructions are to move or go to a different spot and you don't get up, then it ain't finna change. You still gonna be in that same situation, same predicament that's not giving you what you need. But what you need is like about 2 miles down. But you wanna stay in your car that has no gas. But the gas station is 2 miles down. All you gotta do is get out the car. But yeah, so I'll leave it at that.
Sometimes we have to walk to our blessing instead of just expecting it to like fall into our lap.
I agree with that, Taylor. Very powerful, Bethany. Sometimes I think that on top of everything that you all said, that sometimes, Kiana, we're so distracted by the problem. We're so focused on the problem that we don't even know that help has shown up. We're so focused on what we can't do, what we can't get over, what we can't find, what we can't acquire, obtain, what we can't get delivered from, that we don't even realize God already. Oh God, some of us are already living in answered prayers, but we just won't move. Some of us are all our prayers have already been answered, but we'll sit there and look. Oh God, we'll sit there like Bethany just said, because it's not wrapped in a certain container. But sometimes we're so excited. On the flip side of it, we're so excited that the package has shown up, we won't even open it. We'll sit there and look at the box, scared of what's inside it, because it's gonna require us to do something. Oh God, we'll look at the packaging,
Wow,
and we'll admire the packaging,
Right.
but the true beauty and the value is in the box.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Let me unpack this. That means God will send people in your life, and you're just so happy that you have company that you won't even tap into their gift that God put them there to bless you with. I'm just so happy to have a friend that I haven't even begun to. Hey man, let's go hang out.
Exactly.
Because I'm just so happy with the packaging that I haven't even tapped into the gift. Okay, that's all I have.
Oh, what?
What did he hold on? What did you get
Hey, he just comes in, jumps in, and leaves. Like,
bring that back. I had to sit on that. I'm so happy with the what?
Rapper, man. You know how
Or
it is.
it could be. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, or it could be, who sent it to you. Like, we know God answered our prayer. Oh, God gave me this. Oh, I can't mess this up. Oh, this is too nice. Oh, it's too sparkly. Oh, I can't tear up the paper. I can't cut up the ribbon. Like, God sent this so perfectly. God is so perfect. I can't mess up what He's done. It's like you just said. If you want your healing, you better open up this box. Like, you better go drink some water. Like, go get the medication. It's here for a reason.
right.
Like, okay. Okay.
That's like your doctor giving you a prescription because you got this bad rash.
You ain't finna go to the pharmacy to fill it.
How bad?
Okay, so you want the infection or do you want the healing? Like, those two are opposite for a reason. They're not supposed to be together.
I just had it. I
didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
No, you could. I just had an analogy, but I probably shouldn't use it. Remind me to tell y'all this one offline.
Remind me to tell you, you know what I'm gonna go on and use it. I'm gonna go on and use this
I
unplugged.
was going to
So
say, you might as
Double
well.
y'all can send me a hate mail all you want to. It's like
Mail.
back when we before we were saved. And we had done some stuff, some extracurricular activities, and you knew you should have got that plan B. And now you're looking at 18 years. What I'm trying to don't miss the forest for the trees. What I'm trying to tell you is sometimes we're looking at our help and staring us right in the face, but we like, no, you know what? I don't really need that. I don't really need it. I don't have to. I'm not gonna get caught up. We don't look at other people's lives as examples either, and say, you know what? That might not be the route I want to take. Because see, help comes in the form of examples too.
Yeah,
you can't miss that, right? I knew I shouldn't have did that. Okay, but now that it's done, what do I do next? If your plan A don't succeed, sometimes you got to go to plan B. No pun intended.
You had it, boy.
No pun intended.
I'm trying to be done, but okay, this is like my last thing. When you just said, I like reminded myself, it doesn't always take one to know one, it take one to see one. Like you said with the example, you don't have to always experience the same situation to know that's not good for you. If somebody's car is on fire, you're gonna go get in the car and put it on fire so you can be like, oh, you shouldn't have your car on fire? Are you serious? Like,
okay, Bethany.
Okay, you should know that a flaming car or fire, period, is dangerous. Like, don't touch that. So, okay, that's it. I'm ready.
No, that was good.
I like that.
That was good. I'm gonna write that down and use that for my clients. It doesn't always take one to know one; it takes one to see one. Good job.
I'm
writing down. I'm writing down.
No, download that for real. That was fire.
That's a bar. That's a bar. Put on the shirt.
That was heat.
Not come on, church.
Yeah. Jay Will. You've been spectating up there in the corner long enough. Like this guy right here. Y'all see him? Y'all point out.
Yeah, the tank top, swole guy. He been in the gym. You know that guy.
Point at him. Y'all ain't
point at him. Point at him.
Oh,
y'all point.
Well, all right, there it is.
You got to point to the
have technical difficulty. There we
go. Let's go, Jay. We need to hear something from you.
Why y'all like this? No, I just been soaking up everything. Like, if you guys knew what I went through Sunday. No, this is Unplugged. So Sunday I woke up and I knew something was off, but I didn't face it. And normally I would pray about it, but I didn't tap into the source because my focus was trying to get to church on time. After church, went to my meeting, and this is why you need to open the box. Went to my meeting, still not myself. Driving home from my meeting, everything hit me, and I have been mentally drained for the last 3 weeks. Not letting nobody know, but praying, but God was sending help my way and I didn't tap into it. And it hit me all Sunday that I had a moment where I just didn't want to be here anymore until I opened the box and tapped into my help. Anybody who know me knows I'm not one to ask for help. I'm always the one who's coming to for help. And so it's important that you open the box, and it's important that you tap into the people that God placed into your life, because had I not, I probably wouldn't be here today. Had I not opened the box, had I not tapped into the help that God was sending my way. So for somebody that's online tonight, don't be afraid to open the box. Don't be afraid to tap into those that God placed in your life for a reason. You know, just like the scenario that Taylor gave where all the boats came by, and when the guy died, he asked God, why didn't you send for help? I sent help all along. You chose to just watch it pass by. Don't watch your blessing pass by. It's okay to reach out. It's, it's okay to open the box. And I'm glad I opened the box and reached out for help, because had I didn't, probably would never been here today. So
Wow.
for somebody, and I wasn't even going to share this, but the Spirit said share it.
Bless you, man.
So I don't know who needs to hear this. I don't know, but open the box. Reach out for help. There is healing. There is power in asking for help. Not everybody is set out to judge you. Not everybody is set out to look at you differently. But God places certain people on your path to help save you, not hurt you. So
Say that again.
Wow.
God places certain people on your path not to hurt you, but to save you. Don't watch it go by. Reach out, tap in, open the box, because your biggest blessing is standing right on your path.
Mm.
That's what I gotta say.
Bless you, man. Thank you for your transparency, bro. Love you, man. Um, Josh, is it safe to say, um, when it comes to accepting help, um, we can't accept the help because we we judge our help based on the help that we are, or based on um, the level of healing that we have, right? Um, Sometimes I think that we don't ask for help. And let me say this, I see it online all the time. Check on your strong friends, right? I think that sometimes we don't ask for help because we have this savior complex. Kiana tell me all the time that I need to take my cape off, right? Um, I think that if we ask the people for help that we're used to helping, we feel like we lose purpose. That's Let me flush it out that way. We feel like we lose purpose because we lose credibility because we're not the one giving this time.
But
Right?
even that is so backwards.
It
Not
is. It is. But that's the question tonight. Why is it so difficult for us to accept help or ask for help? And I think that's sometimes it. We it's almost like your manhood is being tested, but in this situation, it's like your savior complex is
Your credibility.
being tarnished. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And
And I'm
then other
saying backwards because it's like I'm speaking to myself. Because
right. I mean, and that's birds of a feather flock together. So
not even the accountability part, but sometimes some of us become so used to the ones that's always pouring into, that we get so caught up in pouring into that we forget that sometimes we're the ones who need to be poured in, because we have emptied ourselves so much into somebody else that by the time we look around, we don't want to have to ask that person for help, because I don't want to take from for what I just gave you. So for some people, it's like, well, now who do I turn to for somebody to pour into me, because I poured out into this person and this person is going through this. So I don't want to be now a burden to them. So now it's like, who do I turn to? And um, like you, Carlos, and my friends will tell you this. I wear a cape of I'm okay because I want everybody else to be okay. Like I'm gonna be the one to pray for you. I'm gonna be the one to pour into you. But lately, I became so empty that I forgot to ask somebody to pour into me.
Let me
So
Man,
I have to take off my cape as well.
we get used to keeping score, you know,
hmm
and then this is the thing. Oh God, ooh, um, we get used to taking score, but it's not a game.
Right. This is life, bro.
Y'all look at I'm posting this real quick. I want y'all to look at this, and I want you to tell me what's in the middle of it.
Okay.
At the center of broken is okay.
Yep.
So if you're not thriving, if you're not great, if you're just saying you okay, you're broken, right?
Wow.
Um, people that broken okay is the code name for broken. Because why would I say I'm okay if I was great? Why would I say I'm okay if I was really having a good day? Why would I settle? Oh God, we settle for okay because it doesn't send off a red flag,
hmm
right? We're able to disguise it for people watch it who really don't know us and they can
Mm-hmm.
just move around.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But have you ever met somebody that when you say I'm okay, they say, why just okay? Or they be like, hey, what's really wrong? See, the thing is, people that know you know you. People that know you, right? And so when we gotta stop being honest too, man. I'm not well. If I'm okay, I'm not well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I am not
Yep.
okay. I'm broken. I've been seeing that. I've been seeing on my timeline too much this week. People saying I'm not okay. Pray for me. I'm not okay. They're saying I'm not okay. I'm broken.
Mm-hmm.
They're finally pulling the curtain back and exposing themselves. And that's the beautiful thing about being a member of the body of Christ. And the beautiful thing, it should be a beautiful thing, is that I am okay with being exposed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when I'm exposed, oh,
Say
Mm,
it again.
mm,
when I'm exposed, Christ is broadcasted. When I'm exposed, um, God is illuminated. Right? Paul said it this way: when I am weak,
he
then
makes it.
I am strong. Um, we really have to stop masking the pain, stop masking the hurt, stop masking the inability to function. It's okay with saying, hey, I'm not there today, y'all. This it's okay to say,
Yeah.
y'all, I can't do it today. I need somebody to hold. Look back to Moses, man. When I forget which battle they were in, but he had to have his hands held up. Every time Moses' hands failed, the children of Israel started losing the battle. And and Aaron and propped his hands up. They propped his hands up, his arms up, and every time his hands were lifted, the people were winning. Sometimes you can't win if nobody's there to hold you up.
Mm.
And we're so busy counting red flags that we miss the green ones.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You can only give so much blood before you need more for yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't drink
That's
from
real.
an empty vessel, man.
That's real.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see you, brother-in-law.
That's why I tell them all the time, man. I tell people all the time, man, when you fly, they tell you before you help somebody else secure your mask first.
Right.
Because many of us are suffocate in panic trying to help somebody else because we fail to help ourselves. That's why a lot of marriages fail. Let me get in y'all business. That's why a lot of marriages fail. That's why a lot of relationships fail. It's because nobody is willing to receive the proper help, but we'll use fillers and filters. I mean, look at social media. Everybody posting filters because they don't want to be seen in their actual light. Taylor.
Mind your business.
Oh man,
See my facial scars.
Why not?
I was just about to say that. But what? It's you.
Mm-hmm.
There's beauty in scars.
Why not? That I wasn't asking a rhetorical question. So I didn't
It was giving a rhetorical question.
No, it wasn't rhetorical. Why not?
Why?
I'm with it.
I was like, y'all really want to know?
Absolutely. Like for real. Like today.
Everybody's being transparent today. It really just has to do with the way that I view myself. Like, and the perception of how I want others to view me. Like, y'all are, man, whatever.
Accept the help.
No, but it's like, I just don't want other people
to. The scars are connected to pain.
Mm-hmm.
Scars identify pain was there. Mm-hmm. But when we cover them up and they're still there, we haven't accepted them yet.
But that's the thing. But my scars, especially when I'm talking about like filters on like my face, my scars are self-hurt. Like they're from acne scars that I've picked at, and knowing my mom would tell me all the time, stop picking at your face because you're gonna scar up. Now I have these two like big marks all over my face because I was hurting myself.
Even if you was hurting yourself,
put a filter over my.
Now I
put a filter on.
You don't even grasp the word that you just gave.
She don't know what she said.
I didn't know.
No idea what you just said, man.
I know what I just said.
Say it again.
That I was hurting myself.
So now you don't want other people to see the reminder that you have,
right,
from self-inflicted pain.
Right.
Oh man, what if Jesus never showed us his scars? What if Jesus never showed us?
Come on, Josh. When he appeared,
right down Josh's alley, right there.
Josh ready to preach, Doc. He got a whole sermon ready for you. Download it.
I was about to send out an email to tell and said that, like, what if Jesus never showed us his scars? What if Jesus never showed us his wounds? What if he never showed us the infliction that was caused when he died upon the cross? There is healing in the scars. If I know that
y'all hear tone changing.
Oh man, if I know that when Jesus died upon the cross, I know because he showed his scars, he showed where he was inflicted. So I know that if he was inflicted, when I'm inflicted, I know that there's healing because he does the healing. Let your scars show. You bless somebody else when somebody else see your scars. How did you get that scar? This is how I got it. But let me tell you about a man that died on Calvary's cross that can heal that scar. Let your scars show. I could go on. It's the preacher in me, but I'm not.
Well, you know what? I'm a tag in.
Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead.
I'm a tag in.
I got next.
You got next? All right, bet. I'm gonna regroup quick.
I got down.
Yeah.
I got down.
Look. I just want to dig it a little deep. Okay. When you work for an organization, you wear that organization's brand and badge on you, correct? If I'm at Walmart, I have a name tag that has Walmart insignia and my name there to show that I am a part of this entity. But you know what's better about those scars that you have? Not only do you show that you're a part of something that happened in the past, you also show that you have credibility to speak to those in the future that may end up with the same thing. You cover that up, they don't even think you're credible.
Yep.
I could have covered my arm up with tattoos over this dog bite that I had at 5 years old, where all of the meat was pulled off of my bone, and they literally stitched everything up, right? And I had a chance to cover it up when I was playing ball. But I was like, you know what? Nah, it's like a battle wound. But more so than that, it tells a story. Because I can't imagine that I'm the only person that it happened to, and I won't imagine that I'm going to be the last person that it happened to. So why not show them what a survivor looks like? Why not show them what a conqueror looks like? Why not be the person to stand up as the liaison and the representation of God's healing power, of his unadulterated love for myself, and then of his charge? Come on, because now I'm not just representation. I'm a CEO of this thing. I got the dominion and power to speak over this particular thing and watch it move on my behalf and out of your way. I'm done. You go ahead.
Isaiah put it this way: by his stripes, we are healed. By his stripes, we are healed. That means that the marks that you're covering up has the power. It's the antidote for somebody else's healing. We're sabotaging somebody else's healing by trying to cover up what we don't want to see, because it reminds us of a place that we were imperfect. It reminds us of a season when we were undone. It reminds us of a place that we don't want to revisit, and we fail to realize just because I rethink it don't mean I revisit it. I can rethink it so I never turn to that place again. And I can help somebody else not reach that place. Not only, let me go this route. Not only did Jesus show Thomas his scars, he said, listen, don't just look at my hands. I want you to feel where the holes used to be. We gotta allow people to even feel our pain so that they will know what the pain feels like. Empathy, right? Being able to identify with the pain, so they never have to experience the pain. Let me say it again. If people can identify with the pain, they may never have to experience the pain.
Yep. That's good. Wow.
By his stripes, man, we are healed. If it wasn't for the stripes, there would be no healing.
Wow.
We don't want help, man, because we're hiding it. We're hiding from help. Somebody today needs to hear, ready or not, here it comes.
Here it comes. Wow.
Because as long as New Heights is around, there's a place for healing. As long as New Heights Church is in existence, there's a place for hope. As long as New Heights is in existence, there's a place of transparency. As long as New Heights is in existence, this is a home of testimony. Because if there's no test, there's no testimony. And if there's no test and there's no testimony, that means I failed too many times.
Wow.
It can't be a testimony when I haven't passed the test yet. Ready or not, here it comes.
Can there be a sermon series that you preach?
And here goes Ty with this book that she done put out there. Ty, why didn't you just get in the chat?
I know.
I sent you the link earlier. Who gonna read all that?
I ain't doing it.
I volunteer, Kiana.
You think are you gonna pull the whole thing up? Because I just read it and it's not the whole comment.
Well, I don't think we can put the whole thing up. Just
There
read.
ain't no point in me reading it.
Just read it from the backlog then.
Two things that come to mind are: one, we don't want to be let down. Two, it plays a lot into one's background, i.e., having unreliable parents, or when you did ask for help, you were punished. It pushes one to self sufficiency and makes it harder to ask for help. It's an association with shame and weakness. It's pushed a lot in the culture in previous generations, which built a lot of independent people who didn't know how to ask for help or give it compassionately. Then, when it was received, it was.
Whoa.
I thought you said you read the whole thing.
I did.
That's all that's in the backlog too. We gotta go to the actual Facebook comment to pull the rest of it up.
All right, let me go to Facebook real quick. Ty, you not helping us tonight.
Why she want to type a whole prolific dissertation?
Listen, she that's a whole doctoral.
I mean, well, she's helping from where she can help. She can't be in the pulpit right now. She's gonna help where she's at. Did we have this lesson last week? Can I get an amen? Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
You know what?
We're gonna push our sermon from the comments.
Touche.
Mhm.
Touche.
And I'm waiting to hear her whole comment. Because
We
you, Josh,
getting
is Sunday, preached the sermon, so I want to hear hers.
We getting there.
We getting there.
Mhm.
Hold on, y'all stay tuned. Stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. Don't jump off. Which page she on?
Oh, that's a good question. I got
Hold on. I'm getting there.
anybody who's watching in the comments. Is any of this helping you? Or anybody that's listening? On the streaming platforms. I'm hoping that there's something that we're saying, and having an open discussion that's actually digging deep. That's the purpose of this thing. We want to have these conversations.
Fact.
So that it enlightens you, it opens you up. Makes you believe free and think free.
All right, here we go.
Ain't that your business, Sonny?
It is, which built a lot of independent people who didn't know how to ask for help or give it compassionately. Then when it was received, it was uncomfortable because it's unfamiliar. That culture did leak into the church. Praise God that it is changing now and we're having these conversations. We're becoming more united and growing towards a Christ-centered focus. For some, it takes time out. It takes time, but I believe we're going down the right path.
Man.
Thank you, Kiana, for reading part one of Ty's comment.
No problem.
And then you tagged me. That was layered, man. And that was another angle that I didn't even pay attention to. Sometimes it's a taught behavior not to ask for help because you were punished for it.
Punished for needing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Punished for being not even inadequate but unlearned.
Right. What you don't know can hurt you.
And then what happened was a lot of that same demeanor and posture, like she said, was brought into the church. And so now you're chastised as a Christian for every time that you didn't do it right or you couldn't figure out how to navigate this next part of my journey on my own. Right. But again, it goes back to that empowerment piece is allowing people to have grace. Oh God. To experience grace. We want people to experience the kingdom without grace. And it's not possible. It's not possible. All right, y'all. We at the 1:45 mark. It's time to transition to a close. So let's be surmising this thing up.
And let's shift into the closing comments.
I'll
You got it.
start
You
with
got another. You got another comment before we get into the closing.
this can be my closing.
Okay. All right.
Another reason why people are so slow to accept help, especially from the church. I can't speak for everybody, but I'll just speak for me. I don't want the church to help me and then also put a camera in my face while they're helping me. At one of my worst points. This is something to be cognizant of, especially as Christians, not just the church, as Christians. Because I get on Facebook all the time. Lord, I just thank you for sending me to help this person because they was this specific amount late on their bill. But I just want to tell Facebook and the Lord that I helped them. Like that's
Yeah.
Be mindful.
And y'all hear what hear who she's talking to.
Don't do it for the clout.
Y'all hear who she's talking to though.
Mm-hmm.
She talking to the church, not the organization.
Mm-hmm.
She's talking to individuals, right? To
Mm-hmm.
people. Man, we got to start helping just for the sake of helping, man. The Lord said it is more blessed to give than to receive.
Receive. Yep.
Right. So again, if you let your left hand know what your right hand doing, you've already got what you're gonna get. So yeah, good, very good point. Thank you for that. I mean, let me add on to that because y'all ain't saying nothing else. Y'all got quiet.
That was my closing. I was waiting on everybody else to close.
I think that's a culture. That's a culture thing. And we've adapted that as a culture.
Yeah.
That's not kingdom.
Yeah.
That's not a kingdom culture, right? We help as kingdom. We help just for the sake of we've been helped. I remember what it was like to go without. I remember what it was like to be in this position. So guess what? I'm helping because somebody helped me. Now it's your turn. Right? When that person comes to Christ, broadcast that.
Exactly.
Let's rejoice in that. Let's celebrate that.
Yeah.
But let's not rejoice and celebrate in the fact that they needed help. Is that fair?
I like it.
Jay Will. Closing comment.
Final comment is just to open the box. Don't put it on the shelf so it can collect dust and look pretty within your collection. Open the box. Reach out to those that God placed in your life because your help has arrived. It's just up for you to utilize it. So open the box and utilize the help that God has sent to you.
Is it safe to say that help is always there?
Absolutely.
Okay. I just know I needed people to understand that. Help is always there. Bethany, closing remarks. Bethany. That is her name. Yeah, Bethany. Do you have a closing remark? Okay, I don't think she can hear it. Got
Can
somebody.
you hear us?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Your name is Bethany.
Okay.
Bethany.
Good point. Very true. Anyways, I'm sorry. You said closing. Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh,
Loud,
okay.
loud and clear.
Huh?
Loud and clear.
Okay.
Can you hear us? Hello.
A little bit.
All right, we'll come
Okay,
back
y'all
to
can see and
Taylor.
hear me.
Taylor, closing thought.
Since y'all wanted to come for my life.
Hmm.
Who did that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No,
We
for a
did go in
long,
on that. We did go in on you that last
you
statement.
did. You did. You did.
But we love you though.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Is that okay.
They said love hurts and truth should be painful.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes truth hurts.
Yes, the truth can hurt. But like my favorite movie, like Rafiki said, either you can learn from it or you can run from it.
Mm.
Right? So I appreciate it. Like I was saying, for years, it has been something that I've been ashamed of. Because I've allowed myself to compare myself to those around me, my best friends, my sister, those who I am truthfully envious of. And instead of asking them, hey, how you get, how do you get to where you are? How do you get your face to not have scars? How do you, stay so healthy, so slender, things like that. I've kind of allowed myself to just stay who I am, and use the filters or, use like makeup or kind of like use my personality to compensate for my lack thereof, or what I know I could be, if that makes sense. And then, but hindsight being 2020, it's like, if these are my best friends, right? Or if this is my sister and they have something that I want, then what is the challenge with me saying, hey, you have this and you do it very well, and I'm struggling in this area. How can I be like you when I grow up? And I say that jokingly to people all the time, but like, have 99% of the time I honestly mean it. When I say like, oh no, I really want to be like you when I grow up, because it's something that I can recognize that I know I need help with, but sometimes I just don't know how to ask the right questions, or sometimes I am too, I'm not gonna say in myself, because with
You're
what
afraid
Sunny
of that
told
answer.
us earlier, like too kind of like out of myself to admit, you know. But tonight I promise that, like, if I need help, I'm gonna really start asking for it, and stop, I guess, like Bethany said earlier, kind of like being complacent, like, if I want it, I have to go get it, and knowing that, like the ant analogy, like, if I need the help is already around me, and people are going to start, bringing themselves to me, because that's how God works, right? I just have to put out my little signals and really start just asking for it. So, opportunities.
Beautiful. I want to say this to you, Taylor. I think social media has let a lot of people off the hook. Um, it lets people create a false narrative about who they are, and I think we're better than that. As children of God, we're better than that. We can allow what the world sees as a weakness to be our greatest strength and our greatest asset. Um, that's what being a peculiar people is all about, right? Um, not saying it's something wrong with makeup, but don't let that become your identity,
Yeah.
right?
Um, there's nothing wrong with lashes, but don't let that become. Man, I saw a woman today. Her lashes was literally like 2 inches long. She had more hair on hanging off her eyes than she had on her head.
Don't do that.
But we not going.
Yeah.
We not gonna talk.
Let's get out her business.
Please.
Her and her ass
Listen,
business.
I'm just saying, don't let these. Okay, let me
Bring it back. Bring it back. You're so close. You're so close.
Listen. Don't let these things be what you identify. I will never forget her, ever.
In the words of Lonnie, Petty Pastor.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
I'm just saying.
Oh, man.
I'm just saying. Don't
Can't
let.
go one episode. Not one.
I tried this one. I really did.
Did you really?
No, not really. I needed the help. I needed the help, and I needed the analogy. It was a perfect analogy. It fit, right?
Mm-mm.
If the shoe fit. When we let this stuff become our identity, it becomes a distraction to who God intended for us to be, right? And we began to put out a narrative that never should have been correlated with us in our anointing or even in our story. I think Sonny said that, every scar tells a story. And who am I to not tell the story about how God has brought me this far? People ask me all the time that people walk behind me or sitting behind me, and sometimes they say, "Hey, where did that scar come from behind your ear?" And I proceed to tell them the story about how I almost knocked my ear off when I was 8 or 9 years old, because I was trying to help. Oh God, we were doing construction in my dad's first church building, right? And I'm a young boy, and I want to do what the big people are doing. I wanted to operate in a season that I wasn't equipped for yet. And because I wasn't equipped for that season, I was carrying a 2x4 on my shoulder. And because I wasn't mature enough to be able to handle that in that season, I hurt myself. And I almost damaged myself permanently. But now it's just a scar. What did that teach me? Don't operate out your season. So there's story. There's stories behind our scars, and so I want you to keep telling your story, Taylor. I want you to keep telling your story. Y'all, this feels like it turned into a talk show. I'm getting.
That's what it always gives every time.
Yeah, I'm getting talk show esque vibes. Kiki, thank you for your final thought. Joshua, thank you for your final thought. Taylor, thank you for your final thought. We got Bethany back live and in color. Nope, she's not here.
The color is black. All right.
There we go. There she goes. All right. Unmute yourself and give us your closing thought, and then we're gonna get out of here. Unmute.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think my connection is dropping. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, just talk until we say we can't hear you.
Okay. I actually don't have a closing comment, so yeah, y'all said everything, and I don't know why you do that.
We waited this whole time for you to tell us
and
you got nothing to
yeah, I
say.
really, I
You could have
don't.
just texted us. She could have put that in the chat. She could have put that in our group chat. You hear me? Like,
Girl, you better say something.
Yeah, give
and
us
now she
something.
froze. Now she froze.
Look at this. Look at this.
Look at
Look at
this.
this.
Look at this.
Look at it. Look at it. Sonny, give us our closing thought, man.
Yeah, all right.
Let me leave her froze up there on the screen like that.
I like that. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Good talk. Now I'm playing. Nah, today was powerful. There was a lot of help in here. For those who tuned in, there was a lot of help in here. A lot of instruction. Always remember though, you know what I'm saying? We can always say it starts with acceptability, but let's just talking about what it really is. All right. Let's learn to really truly be ourselves.
Did she say
right?
here?
Because in being ourselves, we make everything plain. The confusing, the hard, the tough. When you keep it simple and you learn to go to whom you are. All the help is already there. It's just for you to go unlock it. You know, and like I said, you know, the ant analogy, however it went over, it's powerful because you'll find that the help that you need is there, and then abundant help comes whenever you apply it. Right. I imagine, Carlos, if you would have asked one of the men who were there helping with the construction to carry that or help you carry that piece of wood, then you would avoid an injury and you would have gained some experience. Right.
You know why? Because I wouldn't let nobody help me. I denied the help because I feel like I could do it on my own.
That's profound in of itself, right? It's profound in of itself. So I surmise sometimes the help is just for our maturity. It may not necessarily be that there's a perplexing situation coming, but we need to lean to more experience at times. I'm here to charge some people. I like to give challenges and I like to give lessons. So for all our viewers and for all the council members, this week, I want you to attack whatever you're going at in life at the best of your ability until you're stumped. And then when you're stumped, seek help. It's as simple as sending a text to somebody who's been there before, finding out where they are. Just as a social experiment. If we learn how to truly open our mouths and open ourselves in something little and mundane in our lives, then when the big ship comes, we won't miss it. So let's try that this week. Go at whatever you got going at 100%. And when you feel stumped, reach out to somebody and reach in within yourself and pull that thing together. Remember, God is there already. God is in it and God is of it. So we just have to submit ourselves to all the tools that he's leaving for us to fix it.
Beautiful. I'm reminded of the woman who had the issue of blood. She had done everything she could. Everything she could possibly imagine. She did it. But all she needed was the right touch. And she pressed her way through the impossible to only be able to touch the hem of his garment. There's help available, but sometimes it's not going to be easy to get the help that we need. And lastly, man, sometimes I'll sit back and I'll watch my son, right? He's trying to figure out a math problem. And he'll struggle.
And I'm watching, and he struggled. He'll struggle. And then he'll look at me, and then he'll struggle. And he sees me watching him. And then he starts talking to himself. I don't think I can figure this out. He's leaving clues that he needs help, but he's too prideful to ask for it. But then when he does finally say, I need help because there's nothing else he can do on his own, he completely drops it and he wants me to do it for him. We got to begin to understand that help is like a partnership. We still got to do our part.
That's good.
It's a partnership. It's saying this, look, I've gone this far. Let me tag you and help me get me the rest of the way. That's why we're in this thing together. We're in it to win it because there's power in team. There's power togetherness. So the Bible says a threefold cord is not easily broken. That's why I need you. That's why you need me. We hope y'all been blessed on tonight. We're done. We're through. We thank y'all for hanging in with us for this 2 hour segment. If you're listening to this on one of our podcast platforms, without the video, we thank you, all of our listeners, for listening to this as well. We love you. We hope, trust, and pray that you have a good week. The council loves you. New Heights loves you. I love you. Most of all, God loves you. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that you can do about it. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll see y'all next week. Same time, same place, same grace, in the same space. Say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Really?
Good night.
You really say good night, everybody?
It works.
Let's put her backstage.
That's so rude.
Oh,
Thank
man.
you. So rude.
You know we got Cali haters.
For real, man.
You feel me?
Y'all be
Ain't
good.
no
Be good.
downfall.
Remember, love ain't love until it's shown. So get out there and get to love. Y'all have a good week. Peace.
Peace. That'd be good.
We out.
Y'all take care.